Okay, let's use the whatever it's called, responsive wizard to create a regular HTML responsive site. First thing I did, of course, was to create the header graphic. I made it 1280 by 240. I saved for the web in a directory called demo. Demo is going to be my folder. So here's my header. Okay, just cancel this. Now what we want to do is go to the tool. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the first button under branding and CSS. And we're going to name our site. I'm just kind of going to call this demo. Demo. Okay. So there it is, demo. Notice that it already named what you're going to call your CSS. Now the path to the header, because it's in the root folder, I'm going to put header.jpg. And if it was like images, which it's not, I would put images slash and put the whole path to the header graphic. But I put it in the root because that's where I put it. Then, what is the size of that graphic? Well, it's 1280 by 240. That's a pretty good size. All right, now what you'll notice right away that it starts branding the classes according to your word that you use to brand. And that's going to be used through the creation here. Now you get to choose here what sizes of device width that you want to create your site for. I'm just going to check all of them. So you have 1280 and 1024 widescreen, 960 is a little bit narrower, 768 could be, I don't know, like a Facebook app. 480 is an iPad, 380, 320 is for the phone. And what it did is it created the media screens for each of those. So this is going to be between or greater than 1280. This is where you will manipulate CSS for that. This is the responsive between 1024 and 1280. And it created a CSS media screen for those sizes between 960 and 1023, and etc. all the way down. So it created the media screens for the sizes that you selected. All right, so the first thing we want to do, remember, this is demo CSS with a capital D. This is case sensitive. I'm going to click that. It's going to select all the code that was generated. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put it in my editor, and I use Notepad, Notab Lite, which is a free editor. I'm going to save it as, what was it? Capital D, demo.css, just what it's told me to, right here, right there. That's what it told me. All right, then the second thing we need to do after we got the CSS all done, we're going to the start page, and notice that it already created a link to your external style sheet, and it also has the code that's required for the browser or the device to detect the width. Okay, so I'm just going to create this, copy. I'm going to go to my editor, create a new document. I'm going to paste it in. Notice that it isn't container, it's wrapper. There's also a JavaScript at the bottom of it that will help you detect what size your screen is as you're formatting your website. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and so that script will be a great help. All right, I'm going to save this as index.html, and there it is. And so everything that we're going to create now is going to go into the wrapper div. So let's do that right now. So we'll go to full pages, and we're going to build this website row by row. And so our first row will be header, and it's going to go all the way across the page. So we're going to put it to 12, and this is going to be an HTML header image. So we can click that, and as you can see, it placed the header JPEG right there. The width is 100%. and more. All right, so that's row 1, and let's do row 2. I don't know. We should put a nav. Let's do nav, and that also will go all the way across. So we'll make a 12. And then our next row will be, let's do section, and that's going to go 8 rows across, and right bar will be 4. So we begin to see that it's labeling the rows for you. So this little comment says that this is the beginning of the row that contains section and right bar. You'll see that it ends with a comment that says end row containing section and right bar. These little comments will help you when you begin to paste content or applications or pictures or whatever. Okay, so that's what that is. Notice that they are there. It's writing your CSS for you that has a right bar float left and more. All right, so that's row 3. Notice that the addition up here has to equal 12 because there's 12 rows across. If it exceeds the 12, then you're going to have your divs wrapping around, and that's not so good. So that's 3. So let's create another row, and we'll call these, I don't know, notes. We're going to have some notes here, and I'm going to designate the name of each div. So that these could be like photos or something like that. Here we go, 3, 4. And because there are 4, they should probably be 3 columns each, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. And as you can see, it's writing your CSS with the floats according to what you created. And there is the comment that says this row contains notes 1, 2, 3, and it ends with that. So that will be pretty helpful. All right, you'll see later on. So let's do another row. I guess we'll do, let's just do, I guess, slides or something. It's slides 01. We can have slideshows, or it doesn't matter what we put here inside the divs. Make sure that when you're creating these divs, there's no spaces or special characters. So since there's 3, we can do 4 rows each. And as you can see, the 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. And once again, we have the comment that will help you to edit. And lastly, we can do footer. Let's do footer. This will be our footer, and of course it goes 12 across. Okay. And because there's 12, there's no float. So it knows not to put a float left. All right. So now that we created our page, we can go to the HTML page, and we can see that it created all that HTML code that that's creating your page. It's creating the entire div structure in HTML. So this is the part that I'm going to copy, and I'm going to put it inside the wrapper like that. Okay, and I'm going to save it. But also what we need is all of those divs that have the floats. So we go down to the CSS, and look what it says. It says in demo CSS, or whatever you used for your branding, but in my demo CSS, around 67, I'm going to look for this paste structural CSS here. You'll see this is all that CSS that creates the float left. That's what gives that, that's what enables it to work correctly. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my text editor. I'm going to hit my demo CSS, look for around line 67, right here. Paste structural CSS here, and I'm just going to paste that in. Now, if I did this right, I'm going to view in the browser, and let's see what happens. So there it is. It created all the structure. Notice it has the nav, and the nav's going to go all the way across. You have the section that's going to go 8. Just so that you can see how all of this works, I have this design helper, And if you grab this code and you put it at the bottom of your HTML page, you could put it in remove after design process if you want, because this is just a helper to help you design and to format. If we go back over here and look at it, you'll see that there are the 12 columns. There they go. So you can see the 12 columns, and you can see where, well, let me make it a little bit easier for you to see. I'm just going to turn this red so you can see the nested. And so you can see where all of these divs line up. See, remember the section? We put a section 8 and a right bar 4. It says demo 8 and demo 4. These notes are 3 columns each. Notice how they are 3 columns. And so you can tell the width of those columns. Here's these on the demo slides 1, demo slides 2 go across 4. And notice that the demo 4 is there. This one goes all the way across all 12 columns. And so you have demo 12 along with the header. Now, see the script down here is that JavaScript. So we can tell that this screen is 1290. We refresh it and it will fix it up. So you can see exactly. So if I bring it down here, notice that all of these are still 3 columns, 4 columns. But if we refresh, we can see that's because the screen resolution now is 819. And so we have our entire responsive site, and there's at what is this, 480 or something? No, 727. So yes, it shrunk down to 480, and then when it gets to the phone, they all collapse, and you start being able to scroll because they are one on top of another. Okay, so we now have a beautiful responsive structure, and all we have to do is pop